Welcome back. I just wanted to do a review of the trailers that came out at DC's Fandome. If you guys haven't seen the trailers, definitely take off and check those out. First, real quick, they did a behind the scenes of Aquaman 2. That's looking like it's going to be really good. It kind of looks like he doesn't have the gold and green, which really disappoints me. I have to admit, I'm going to miss that. Maybe that's something they're going to do in post, or maybe just the scenes we're seeing. But that is disappointing. But aside from that, I loved Aquaman. It's been one of my favorite superhero films in a while, and I don't think I've loved anything since. So very excited for Aquaman 2. Shazam 2, they showed some behind the scenes stuff of. I enjoyed that movie. It's a little light, little easy, but it was fun. It was an enjoyable film, and Zachary Levi did a great job. They've upgraded the suit. I liked the first suit. It was a little puffy. You can't deny that, but I did like the way the lightning bolt on his chest lit up, whereas now it looks like it's just a gold emblem. I really like the lit up lightning bolt. And the whole team, and it looks like it's going to be good. They're talking about having all kinds of mythological creatures in it. That's going to be awesome. And even though he's not in the trailer, he's on the poster. And I wanted to point out Sinbad. I might have to do a midnight matinee of one of his movies that I love, because if you don't know who Sinbad is, you should check out some of his stand-up. He's a very funny man. And I'm very curious on who he's playing in Shazam more than anything else. But we only got some behind the scenes stuff on those, so I'll move on. The first trailer I'm going to touch on is the one that I'm sort of the least interested in, but Black Adam. The trailer came out for finally, and I do love that they are going, it appears from the trailer, all in on him being a villain, not on him being a misunderstood good guy. He is a villain in this trailer, and it's awesome. I do get a kick out of how somebody can absolutely effortlessly destroy someone, and everybody else's first thought is, well, let's shoot him with bullets. Especially in the DC universe, you'd think they'd have given up on bullets by now. But it is a very cool trailer. I really hope The Rock tries to find his inner Arnold Schwarzenegger on this one too, because Arnold as the Terminator, is just different from anything else Arnold's ever done. And to see The Rock really play a villain, not a semi-villain, not a, yeah, he's a bad guy, but isn't he lovable? But for him to play a villain, that would be really enjoyable to see him stretch his acting a bit and do. We didn't get to see them in the trailer, but this is supposed to have Atom Smasher, who I don't care about. Now that I think about it, I can't think of the Green Tornado. I'll fix it when I do the video. In it, also don't care. It's supposed to have Dr. Fate, and that is going to be something else, because Dr. Fate is one of the most powerful characters in the DC universe. He's really never been done very much. They've touched on him a little bit in the CW shows, but I hope they handle him right. I really do. And then something I'm torn on is Hawkeye. Hawkeye. Hawkman. Hawkman is one of my favorite characters. They didn't quite do him justice in the CW, but you have to accept that TV shows have limited budgets. They did a decent job. I love Hawkman. Hawkman is just awesome. And the guy that got to play him is not awesome. And I don't mean any insult to this actor. I will say that of all the characters they decided to race swap, because I think these were all white characters, and it seems like it's a Hispanic of one sort or another that's playing Atom Smasher, and I don't care. I don't care if they race swap Atom Smasher. I don't care if they race swap a couple of them. Honestly, they can both race and gender swap Dr. Fate, because it's the helmet that makes somebody Dr. Fate, and there have been several Dr. Fates. I don't know if they've all been white, but they have had male and female Dr. Fates. So that one wouldn't have bothered me as much either. The double thing with Hawkman for me is, one, I just want him done perfectly, exactly like he is in the comics, just at least one time before you start making changes. And for that, just somebody like Triple H but maybe a better actor. I don't know. Maybe Triple H is a good actor. I enjoyed one of his movies. I just really would have liked that. But if you're going to cast a black man, cast a giant black man. I know Tiny Lister has passed on. Michael Clark Duncan passed on, but he was a little on the short side too. You don't want a short guy for Hawkman. But, and I can't think of any off the top of my head. I'm sort of just shooting from the hip on this video. But the actor they got, and I'll put his name on his picture here. If you've ever seen the show Leverage, you'll know this guy is great. Like, I love him in Leverage. Actually, I love that whole show. They're all fantastic. And I like him, and I would like to see him in more stuff. But I just don't see him as Hawkman. Not just because of his race. The guy is kind of a funny, kind of laid back. And the way they've been making some of the superhero characters more funny than they should be in Marvel and DC, it worries me that they're going to lighten him up. And you don't lighten up Hawkman. Hawkman does not have a sense of humor. Hawkgirl does. She's a crack up. But Hawkman, he's not a brooding character, but he's a dead serious character. And I would like to have seen that. So I hope this guy blows me away. I'm going to have to put that out of my head and just accept that this is the Hawkman, and maybe this actor will knock it out of the park. And if he does, that will make me very happy. It does look like they're giving him a more modern suit, though, and that kind of bums me out, too. I would like to have seen the original Hawkman. I'd like to see a lot of original comic suits look the way they're supposed to on screen, instead of constantly changing them, but whatever. Anyways, as serious as Black Adam looks, I'm hoping they go dead serious with Hawkman, and I do look forward to a new trailer, or an actual trailer, because it's more of a teaser that's out right now. An actual trailer of Black Adam. I just hope they resist the urge to tell us everything about it. Okay, the next trailer that you guys have got to watch is The Flash. I have been so excited and so trepidatious about this one, and they could still do some things wrong. Again, they cast a Hispanic person as a Supergirl, but from what I understand, she's not playing the white blonde Supergirl, Kara. She's playing a alternate reality, which makes sense since this is the Flashpoint paradox. And if that's the case, yeah, again, I really don't care. If she's from another timeline, then she could be anybody, and so that's cool. I hope the actress does a good job. I've only seen one picture. Don't love her haircut, and her abs look really weird. Not the actresses, but the suit, how they put fake muscles on them, even if you are muscular, to really make them pop. And I don't know if it was the angle or if they just hadn't got it set right, but I hope that's not what her abs look like. They looked all triangle and weird. So I'm hoping that they don't, I hope they fix that, because that'll be cool. But as soon as this trailer started, Michael Keaton comes on with the narration, and me and my daughter were both just so excited. And I showed it to my nephews and brother-in-law and such later, and they were all like, yes, this looks good. Good old Michael Keaton. And the new suit on the Flash and the way the trailer unfolds was just beautiful. And then you get just the slightest shot in the shadows of Michael Keaton's Batman suit as he steps out of the shadows, and it's from behind, and it's only for like just a couple seconds, and it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. I was so afraid he wasn't going to suit up in this movie. They were just going to have Michael Keaton kind of hanging out as Bruce Wayne, and you just knew he was Batman. But I cannot wait to see him back in the Batman suit. He is the best Batman yet. Kevin Conroy as an animated Batman, I'm not going to count, because there's a big argument there, because Kevin Conroy is amazing also, no doubt about it. But live action, nobody has been better than Michael Keaton. And even though I have enjoyed all of them, nobody's going to be a better Batman than Michael Keaton at this point either. And part of that is because of the movie. So I'll get into that with the last trailer. But anyways, at the very end, there's this white tarp, and I couldn't quite make it out, I have to admit. I was kind of like, I wonder if that's some of the science mumbo-jumbo they're going to use for the time travel and stuff like that. And he grabs the sheet, and as he starts to pull it, I see the sheet pulling from every angle of the trailer, and that's when I realized that is the original Batmobile. And just as he yanks it, the screen goes black, and you hear Barry just freak out like, oh my, and that's my take too. Because again, there's never been a better Batmobile than Tim Burton's. The Burton Mobile is the best one of those. Also, just a beautiful, beautiful machine, and I cannot wait to see that in the theater again. So I am beyond excited for the Flash. In fact, I may not do any more trailer reviews because I am going to try to not get any more spoilers moving on out. I don't want to know anything else about this movie. I'm hoping that there's still some surprises. There is one I know of because it's on IMDb as a spoiler. So if you don't want that, don't check out that. So there's one more thing they didn't show in the trailer, and I'm hoping there's a few others that they haven't shown us. Also, real quick, the director, whose name I can't pronounce, has only done horror movies up to this point. And I'm very excited for that because even though I'm not a fan of the horror genre, most of it is just crap. The ones that are done well, one of the things that makes them work so well is a director who knows how to work with a cinematographer and capture gorgeous scenes. Because horror movies are all about the scenes. If they're not cut right, if they're not shot right, you lose tension, you lose focus, and you lose anything that makes it more than just blood and guts and boring. So the fact that that's who's filming this is just like James Wan taking over Aquaman. I know that it's going to be filmed beautifully. The scenes are going to capture emotion and focus, and it's going to draw you in. I am more excited about The Flash than anything. And even though I'm not a Marvel versus DC person, I like both of them. Right now, DC is going to start trouncing Marvel with what the crap Marvel is trying to churn out. Marvel has a bunch of stuff they just suspended, and I'm hoping that that means they're going to do some reshoots and fix some of the crap that they have in their movies. But I tell you, I'm not really excited for a lot of Marvel, and what I am excited about, I'm worried about. But those aren't in these trailers, and I want to talk about it. Real quick, though, let me be clear. DC is not batting 100. The new Peacemaker trailer is out, and that's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. That is just a giant embarrassment. Where they used to joke that The Rock just seems to say yes to everything. He does, but at least he picks stuff. His humor and such. He's done a really decent job to exceptional job in what he'd pick. John Cena literally looks like he will be in anything. He peaked with his first movie, The Marine, which was fantastic. Love that film. And he's done a couple, okay stuff. Bumblebee, some cameos and some other stuff. And he's done okay, but he's done some really crap films. And I am not excited for this. I don't even know if I'm going to even watch it. It's such an embarrassing trailer. Horribly sad. Like, if this was the only trailer coming out for DC, I would still be disliking both Marvel and DC. This is not the crap that DC and Marvel needs to be releasing right now. Or ever, frankly. So I wanted to touch on that one before. Oh, and then they got this animated Aquaman on HBO Max, and I don't get it. I was going to do a whole separate video of this. HBO Max especially is doing a bunch of new cartoons about properties that they sort of own, I guess. Like the Flintstones and now Aquaman and other ones. And the animation is horrible. And I don't understand why they're purposefully doing a lousy job and phoning things in. And it's just embarrassing. And I don't care if it's for kids. When we were kids, we had Thundercats and, other ones, G.I. Joe and whatnot. That was not crappy animation. By today's standards, it was a little stilted and slow and whatnot, but they really put in their animation. And even the original Flintstones, it had an original look. It's sort of like The Simpsons. You could say The Simpsons is bad animation with no chin and four fingers and yellow. Why are they yellow? And yet it's a specific look. And then there's just bad animation. And I don't understand why they're purposefully doing lousy animation. But I digress, because the last one I want to talk about is, of course, the Batman trailer. And I have a lot to say about this trailer. First of all, wow. The music in it is amazing. The direction, it's going to be outstanding. Matt Reeves is amazing. I love Alfred in this. Gordon, they race swapped Gordon. I don't really care. They've done Gordon so many times that's the whole thing. If you can get, I understand that there's a lot of races in America, and it's not nearly as majority white as it once was, which is one of the reasons why I think people need to lay off about race swapping white people into other roles. 50 years ago, there weren't that many different races acting or trying to get into acting and such. And again, if you don't care about race swapping now, you also shouldn't be complaining about it back then either, because apparently it's okay. That said, we did finally get the perfect Gordon with Gary Oldman. He was ideal. I like the other Gordons; they're fine, but he nailed it. So now, if you want to change him a little bit, I don't mind as much. One, because they're going to do it anyway, so it's either be mad all the time or deal. And really should have looked up this actor's name because I love this guy. But again, I was just shooting from the hip today. He's a solid actor, and he's going to bring the personality of Gordon, which I want to talk about someone else in this movie. He's going to bring that personality, and he's going to embody Gordon, just black. So if he really is Gordon, just black, who cares? Who cares? Let him be. And so I'm not bothered by that at all. I'm looking forward to it. He's going to do a good job. I can just tell from the trailer. I love the suspicion that this is the Riddler. Because of the question mark in the coffee at the beginning, it almost has to be the Riddler. If it's a swerve, it'll be kind of a disappointing one. Robert Pattinson, I don't care about Twilight, but the truth is, neither does he. You should watch some of his interviews about it. They're hilarious. He hates Twilight. It's a paycheck. An actor's got to work. And he did them, and so what? The guy's a solid actor. He's done some really lousy movies, but his acting in them was fantastic. And I'm really looking forward to him playing a young Batman. And the city still looks a little bit like a typical city, so I kind of wish they would kind of art it up a little bit the way Tim Burton did. They may not have to go full Tim Burton. They definitely don't want to go full Joel Schumacher, but they need to do more than Christopher Nolan and Zack Snyder did and just film in the city. Even to the point where you recognize large parts of it and you're like, oh yeah, it's Chicago. It just takes me out of the movie, especially for Batman. Less so other characters. That's the beauty of Marvel. They can film in the actual cities because they take place there. But if you're going to do DC, you got to change the cities up a little bit, but especially Gotham. Anyway, I love the mystery here. I love the way it's coming apart. There are two things I don't like about this movie. One of them is what my problem was with the Christopher Nolan films and Christian Bale. There's a scene in the trailer where the villain, which again we're all assuming is Riddler, is taunting Batman, and he loses his temper and he punches the glass and he yells at him. And that's just such a 5-year-old temper tantrum moment. I hate that moment because for all of the stupid things that have that Batman has gotten kind of attributed to him, like he's got everything in his belt and he's prepared for anything and so forth. The one thing that's realistic about Batman is he does not lose his cool. Like there's a couple shots in here where he beats the holy hell out of just a group of bad guys. That's not him losing his temper or losing control. That is him in full control, and he is a near invincible, unbeatable warrior. That's what's beautiful about it. But for him to punch a glass he knows isn't going to break, to yell at a guy on the other side who he should know is not going to have any effect. Batman doesn't do anything that won't have any effect. That's what I hated about Dark Knight. As good as that movie is, it is not the best superhero movie ever, and it's certainly not the best Batman movie. And one of the reasons is because of the 5-year-old temper tantrum crap that Nolan wrote and Bale performed, with him throwing Joker around and just constantly yelling, "Where is it? Tell me. Where is she? Tell me." And it was embarrassing. It's an embarrassing scene. The best parts of it are Joker and that, because Joker is really treating Batman the way he would, because Two-Face, Joker, Penguin, as in this trailer, they're not afraid of Batman. They're really not. That's why they have goons and they send their goons. They don't send their goons out to die. They're not afraid of Batman, and they send their goons out to take care of him like they would anybody else. It's the goons that are afraid of Batman, and they should be. And that's why I love the scene where he snatches up Penguin, and Penguin's like, "Whoa, take it easy, sweetheart," like a real gangster. I love that scene. And talk about the right actor for the right job. I never in my life thought that would be Colin Farrell. Even hearing him, looking at him, I cannot believe it. The fact that they went, instead of going for a short, stubby guy again, that they went for just an actor who did a great job, and they put him in the suit and prosthetics. It's amazing. It blows my mind. And that's why I love all the effort put into this movie. And that's why the other thing that's going to keep this from being one of my favorite movies just disheartens me. And that is Catwoman. She looks terrible. I was going to say a lot of insulting things just because I can be a jerk sometimes. I'm imperfect. I'm sorry. I hate to admit it. And I got to rail myself in sometimes and go, hey, quit being a jerk, dude. I was going to refer to her as Lenny Kravitz's daughter only because to me that really is all she is. She's never done anything that says she stands on her own 2 feet. And without her dad being a famous musician, I doubt we ever would have heard of her. She's not bad, really. She's okay. But I can't. I've never seen anything where she stood out, where she added anything. And this is terrible casting. Her as Catwoman is the most... this is just bad casting. It doesn't help that she runs her mouth on social media when she needs to shut her gums. But that's a whole nother subject. I try to ignore that stuff so I can enjoy movies because there's a lot of actors that do that these days. But she doesn't need to shut her mouth and just make her movies if that's what she's choosing to do. But even then, just a lousy, I guess not a lousy actress, but a lousy choice for Catwoman. There's so many better Catwoman actresses out there. And just for the record, no, it's not because she's race swapped. Halle Berry was Catwoman. Although we don't talk about that movie, she was a great Catwoman. And she could, if that had been a really cool kind of spy thriller type movie, Halle Berry probably would have knocked out of the park. I don't like Halle Berry either, but she makes a good Catwoman. And then back in the 60s show, there was Eartha Kitt, very black woman, who was an amazing Catwoman. And she's a little upstaged by Julie Newmar in most people's minds, but she was still great as Catwoman. So you can have a black Catwoman without, who cares? But they will never, I won't say never, but it's going to be very hard to ever top Michelle Pfeiffer. And these people aren't even close. I would have gone with Natalie Dormer if, she was even offered the role. Maybe she turned it down. I don't know. Or less known, Samare. And I want to say it's Armstrong, but I'll fix that in post if I did that wrong too. These two actresses look like good Catwoman. You put the Catwoman mask on them, and they're both very fine actresses, again, who have become actresses on their own. And I just, the other thing is, I'll be flat out, I hate the haircut too. She's just, nothing about this says Catwoman. I also hate jamming Catwoman into the first Batman film. You gotta wait for Catwoman. You don't just make her part of the first film. It weakens everything around it, in my opinion. So I do think that this movie is going to be really good. I love how Batman seems like an unstoppable force in this trailer. He just, them shooting and he won't stop. Him just fighting numerous opponents at once and he won't stop. And I love the line, the signal isn't just a call, it's a warning. And I like that because the bat symbol is a call for Batman to come to Gordon, but it's a warning for whoever's causing trouble that they're about to spend time in the ICU. So anyway, I'm really excited for what DC has rolling out, again, aside from Peacemaker, because this is all looking fantastic, as is Shazam 2 and Aquaman 2. And it's nice to be excited about superhero movies again, because Marvel has pretty much lost me. Aside from Hawkeye right now, I'm taking it one at a time and not really excited about anything. So that's my review. If you haven't seen the trailers, definitely go check them out. They look fantastic. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you excited for Michael Keaton's return? Do you think I'm way off about Kravitz and that horrible haircut and just the lousy acting and just generally being a pain in the butt on social media? And what do you think about Robert Pattinson? I think he looks great in the suit. I don't like the ears so much, but what are you going to do? Maybe they'll fix that in the next one. If there's a next one, who knows what DC is going to do, Marvel and DC is going to do moving forward with sequels to this, sequels to the other movies, resetting everything. They don't know what they're doing, so how are we supposed to know? All right. Thank you for watching.